Spoilers and offensive content to come.
Hey, folks! It's Carl's Dave Anime Rave. We are the best anime review and reaction show on the internet. Today, we have an extra long episode of Carl's Dave Anime Rave, where we're going to react to and review the first episode of Senki Zesshou Symphogear. I got it right. Season 4, Episode 1. And then after our review of it, stay tuned because you're going to see our review of the remainder of Season 1, because we've had those raves recorded forever, Seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I've just fallen way behind on stuff. So I'm just going to include that Season 1 as part of this video. Then next time when we do Episode 2, we'll include our Season 2 review in that as well. So, we've got a lot of Symphogear for you today.
This is Season 4, also known as AXZ.
Okay, we have got to talk about the Symphogear titles.
They are stupid.
Do we know anything about the plot of this season? I mean, they're going to Yuri tease me and not give it to me again?
I know a little bit. We're dealing with more alchemists.
Okay.
And some sort of behind-the-scenes secret council that has been manipulating events across the world for centuries.
Aren't we always dealing with such a council?
Well, yeah, but at least it's not a student council this time.
We don't know that.
From what I understand, not a student council.
Oh, we'll see. Okay, let's see the hopeful Yuris and the, no doubt, meticulously animated, beautiful song action of a show that will never see a dub. Senki Zesshou Symphogear.
Speaking of shows you never thought would get a dub,
huh?
Flip Flappers is getting a dub.
I kind of like the original Japanese. I'll still watch the dub, though. I would be happier to hear Flip Flappers getting a second season, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk briefly on this. She's saving the world every other day, and she still has school.
I think we talked about this in our reviews of seasons 1 through 3 at some point. I don't remember if we did. I won't remember until I go back home and start editing it. But you're right. Why do they have to go to school still? Look, if I am a superhero and my life expectancy to reach 18 goes from 99% to 49% overnight, they better be excusing me from school and paying me reasonably well.
Exactly.
Like, if she is not making a 6-figure salary in US dollar terms, then Hibiki, maybe they can find their own way to fight the fucking noise.
Maybe she should be making some noise herself.
Folks, this has been the Carlos Dave Anime Rave. This is,
Carlos, are you axing this?
This experiment has gone on long enough. What have we learned from the Carlos Dave Anime Rave, the best anime review reaction show on the internet? We've learned that we can't have nice things on this show. We've learned that the suffering never stops.
Nope.
I appreciate several things about that scene. First of all, the get a room, but I like how Miku always, like, has little hints about her obvious crush with Hibiki. Like, she's always blushing when they're initiating really close contact and covering her eyes when other girls are naked around them. I also like that they're just having a moment. Helicopter! Loud helicopter by their window, which I don't think is possible.
No, it probably isn't. But aren't these supposed to be secret roles? You don't just pull up to the school to bring them to the battlefield like this. You don't.
Hey, Dave, thanks for meeting me at this cafe. It's good that we get a chance to just talk and just relax at the corner. Oh, hey, look! Look, it's the top secret, inconspicuous helicopter by the school. Dave, have you noticed that these assholes think we don't know what they're doing? Also, Dave, I can't help but notice that you're a pile of carbon dust.
And you seem to be a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, God. That's kinky? Question mark?
Hashtag just friends. Of course she's not gonna be able to hear anything!
Why didn't she just go? They have access to the building. Just knock on the door. Hey, we gotta go. They'll go in a loud helicopter being like, what?
Exactly!
I can't hear you over the stupid helicopter.
Also, they have phones! They've used them!
Why would they use a phone when they can just take a helicopter? A loud helicopter. Okay, we need to contact the girls for a mission. Ninja guy, whose name I don't remember. Sir, we've worked together for like 20... Ninja guy, get the helicopter ready. Sir, we have telephones. We don't have money for phones. We waste all our money on submarines. Why do we spend all our money on submarines? That stupid senator never stops eating. And we waste our money on subs. Has a submarine ever been useful to us? God, we are stupid.
It's just taken from the soba noodles accounts.
Didn't they kill the Alkanoids? Why are there still Alkanoids?
Well, alchemy.
Right.
Remember, they're supposed to still be alchemists. So, okay, now this would explain why the girls are there. If they're being wasted against conventional military, that would be bad. But at least they're using,
they've
heretical technology.
They've weaponized Alkanoids. They have little Alkanoids turrets.
I see that.
That actually makes sense. Honestly, if there are weird Eldritch abomination monsters in your world, of course the military, especially in a place like the US, is going to try to weaponize them, right?
Well,
so it makes sense.
And these ones can actually be killed by regular weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be that worried about them being used against you. Gee, I wonder who's on the motorcycle and how long it's going to last.
Is it been the girl who's super obsessed with motorcycles everywhere she goes? She's like Andrea from Reboot.
It's not just that. I mean, how long until she uses it to blow up something?
Oh, she's going to crash this motorcycle into something in T-minus 3 seconds.
Wow, she finally started to use it as an actual weapon versus just an explosive device.
I couldn't help but notice that the Alkanoids were fighting alongside the various soldiers.
Yeah.
Do you think they hang out at the mess?
No.
Ramblethal, or whatever your name is, what did you think of this morning's training exercises? This is why I don't talk to the noise.
You obviously have something to say to that parachute they were using. The ninja!
Oh, sorry.
The fact it actually had ninja on it.
Honestly, I give up with anime ninjas. There's no stealth to anime ninja-ing. It's all just loud noises and theatrics.
Yeah. He's got a really good flash step going there.
Well, he did before he was running on water in Season 2.
Granted, but it makes sense. Have them attack the Alkanoids and have a live human take out...
A live superhuman. Let's be honest with ourselves. I like how the superhumans who are their backup, the only reason they literally can't help more often is because the enemy's able to vaporize them in one shot. On touch, right? Otherwise, they literally have Heihachi and Master Raven on their team and can't use them.
Pretty much. But it makes sense that the girls wouldn't want to attack humans.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you have the commander and the ninja who probably have, let's be honest, they probably killed some people.
Oh,
they probably
sure.
disappeared a few problems, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were watching a Symphogear Season 4, not playing a game of Raiden, the shoot 'em up. What fucking boss just appeared in the sky there?
Well, it's interesting to see what the heretical technologies kind of exploded to. Floating fortresses weren't a thing last season.
Well, no, they were, but they were kind of limited. They were kind of like a select few military groups, specifically the ones who've researched like the special music waves or whatever, had them. Nobody else did. Now they're kind of becoming commonplace.
Bullshit!
Like, what the fuck? But honestly, this show has embraced its over-the-topness. So I would have been a little disappointed if they didn't just save the helicopter by opening each door on each side and letting the missile rocket through.
That couple's cute as well.
I love how Tsubasa just literally just said, matter of fact, that clearly she missed me so much. She had to come all the way to England. Yeah, I'm okay with Tsubasa and Maria.
This has been bugging me for a while. Why does Hibiki especially not just have this around her neck? Why is she always holding it in her hand where it could possibly get, shot out of her hand, let go, etc.?
It needs to be an implant, really. It needs to be able to be called at will with no external item. I think she would
have a problem with it being implanted in her.
Okay, good point. Good point. But for people who don't have that problem, it should be an implant.
Maybe that is the problem, is if it's actually put inside them.
Oh, yeah.
That could happen.
There was a whole plot point for 2 seasons about this, wasn't there? Shit.
So, but still, everybody else has it around their neck. Why is Hibiki always holding on to it?
Yeah, it is pretty badass to backflip up a boat when you're being fired at, and any bullet could immediately end this stupid transformation.
But we know it won't, though. Especially in her case.
Yeah, well, rule of cool trumps all, right?
Yep. What little I know of these 3 is not some Saint Germain, but the other 2 were formerly men.
Huh. Depending on how they present these characters, I may or may not have complaints. Because, yeah, okay, rule of cool trumps all, but there's no excuse for transphobia. I don't excuse it anywhere. And if this show starts engaging in transphobia, I'm gonna be real pissed. Is that a Hibiki clone? I think it looks a lot like Hibiki.
It does.
They making a clone of Hibiki? This plot became very Dead or Alive-ish.
Or has the clone been with them all the time?
Okay, we are not doing the Clone Wars.
Oh, come on.
There's not going to be a separation anxiety arc in Symphogear. There better not be.
Everybody knows that the Spider-Man clone arc was the best arc they ever did.
The best storyline in all of fiction. God,
they better not have done a whole Hibiki's been actually missing this whole time.
Symphogear logos are getting very Final Fantasy-esque. I approve. I like Final Fantasy logos.
Okay, so
we got the B team to wrap up the episode to face down the alchemists who appear to be able to make dragons out of people's grief and wrath.
Well, and it actually goes along with the subtitle here. By shedding many tears, the reality you face is ... I
agree. That was my agreeing noise.
And I said it was AXZ, but could it be A versus Z?
A cross Z? Like Street Fighter cross Tekken?
Don't insult the show.
Well, this was a good, explosive first episode. The one thing Symphogear does really well is the first episode of a new season. Because one thing I don't like about long ongoing shows is that the arcs can bleed into each other. I like them to separate into seasons so we get chunks of the ongoing story. Like they're manageable chunks, right? And one good thing Symphogear does is each first episode of every new season, they just go balls to the wall explosions and singing and admittedly Symphogear's very unnecessary fan service, and it's just wall to wall chaos and mayhem and fun. And this is something that AXZ or Season 4, whatever you want to call it, has not forgotten with Symphogear. Like, yeah, there's moments of dialogue, but they know when people have been talking and now it's time for a dragon to eat a jeep. It's something that Symphogear does really well. One thing I didn't like too much is that the singing has always been a mix of them singing the song and then kind of sounding like they're under duress, like they're really trying to sing in an action stage. And I thought in this episode that was done just a little too often. Like, I realized that singing a song in the middle of combat is not something you're going to be able to do clearly, but there's so much shit in the show that is not realistic already. So that can stay clear. It's kind of like it's something like the audio version of shaky cam. It's kind of this unnecessary thing that's meant to add grit, but actually just kind of falls a little flat. But that's my only real complaint. This is a great first episode.
And I don't know if I agree with you on that, because they tend to do it selectively in the rest of the show.
Yeah, first 3 seasons.
And it really does show when they're at high levels of stress / emphasizing what they're going through. It's not like it's done very often, but I get your whole it's not realistic, so why do something realistic like that? But on the other hand, they use it to emphasize points.
Point taken, but to counter that, they doing it sparingly makes it a stronger emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're being so strained in the first episode leads me to believe, they're adepts, they're experts now. This should be nothing to them, right? So it's going to lose a bit of impact when they do it later, unless this was merely an episode 1 thing to kind of just really sell the fact that this ridiculous concept is battle magic girl singing. I like the Yuri nods because I always like the Yuri nods. If I had never seen an episode of Symphogear in my life, and this was the first episode you showed me, I would have been like, who are these people?
Yeah. Like, this is a show where you do miss a bunch if you haven't watched the previous seasons.
Well, I kind of disagree. The first episode of season 2, I thought that episode reestablished things pretty well. Like, and even the first episode of season 3, there wasn't too much there that a new viewer would be really scratching their heads on. This episode, now that's not an issue for us, we're ongoing viewers. But if someone new watched this episode, their only hook is going to be the over-the-top action and music. Now, that said, maybe that's intentional, and they're like, you know what? Our plot is so complex right now. We have so many layers going. We can't really afford to keep things simple right now. We're going to just continue the story and hope that the explosions bring in the curious.
See, I would agree with season 2, but not season 3, because season 3 you open up with the whole saving the spaceship, flashing over to our B team, who at that time is in jail. And then all of a sudden they're free, and everybody's all happy that, they're free.
Yeah, but
that the first half of that episode has segments where you're like, who the fuck are these people and why do I care?
Now, here's the thing. Here's why you care. Because they just saved the fucking spaceship like a boss.
The A team, yes.
Yeah, the A
team. Why does the B team...
Now, in fairness, just seeing that the B team's in jail, and then later they're reacquainted with people they're familiar with, that's still a way of introducing characters. Here, they're flying helicopters, and by the end of the episode, they've also transformed. And you like, coming in fresh, you wouldn't know that they were also Symphogear users, right? That's the thing. In the season, in episode 1s of season 2 and 3, there's no mistaking it. And that's all I'm saying. And here's the thing. I'm not saying this as a flaw for this episode. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that they've decided, you know what? This episode is for people who are fans, and we're hoping that the exquisite animation, amazing visuals and music, and over-the-top action will draw in newcomers who are curious. And here's the thing. That might be a viable strategy at this point. Because obviously they have the story they want to tell. Maybe this is the best way to do it, right?
It's funny you mentioned animation because it's very fluid. It's very pretty.
It's amazing. This show all the time.
Funny enough, I've come across some people that call it budget.
What?
Exactly. Trying to put this show down by saying, oh goody, more budget animation.
What fucking Death Note / Aka 13 fans are calling this budget? Budget!
I know!
I'm sorry that people who think that Symphogear's budget, I'm sorry that your extremely privileged life has blessed you with Akira levels of animation in everything you watch, and us plebs are stuck with budget Symphogear. I'm sorry, okay? Maybe get off your high budget.
I know! I almost started posting on that forum, but then I'm like, no, wait, don't waste my time.
I want to roll my eyes so hard that the nearest Super Nintendo controller registers the input for one of Saban's blitzes. Like, this is a budget.
Yeah, exactly.
If anyone thinks the animation in the show is budget, let us know and why. And be aware that if your argument is anything less than absolutely ironclad, I am going to ridicule you incessantly.
That being said...
Yeah.
I think we're good. Though do please stick around because you have the rest of season 1 to watch next.
Okay, our review and reaction to the rest of season 1. Because I've just been, look, I edit these, I have other things on my plate, so things fall behind sometimes. We got another whole season of Star vs. the Forces of Evil starting in a week. We're going to be reviewing the Castlevania Netflix show, and apparently Ladybug's starting up here soon. Apparently, I keep hearing that it is. Yuki Yuna's almost out. I mean, look, it's just
Little
busy.
Witch Academia hit Netflix.
Yeah, we got
stuff.
The reviews.
Not to mention finishing everything from spring.
And even before, like, Sailor Moon Crystal, which, surprisingly, at episode 27, finally got good. It's night and day. Seriously, if you gave up on Sailor Moon Crystal, go watch episode 27, the beginning of the 3rd season. It's like night and fucking day. Holy shit.
They replaced their director. They replaced their writer. It's like, wait a second. You replaced the 2 problems? Maybe this might get good.
They have an animation budget now?
They had an animation budget, yes. People were allowed to look more than just Barbie articulation.
Yeah, there was more than just Barbie articulation. That's a good point. Anywho, we're going off topic now. Please stay tuned. Our review of the rest of season 1 of Symphogear is coming up. And then next time we put up a Symphogear rave, it'll be episode 2 of season 4, along with our review of season 2. We're going to use bad language, and there are going to be spoilers. Just vacuum up that human-shaped sack of dust right now. I'm sick of Murray dusting up my floor. I don't care that his widow is grieving over his dust corpse. Vacuum that shit up! No one wants to deal with this. Noise want to come turn useless people to dust? I say let him. Let him do it. Fucking pussy.
Wow, you sound like a Walmart exec.
This is Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann Symphogear Wing Zero, episode 3.2.
In case you couldn't make out the nonsense from what Carlos just said.
People can tell it's Symphogear. The title will be in the video.
Sure you're not going to fuck that up too?
Actually, I just thought about it. What if we have viewers who actually can't read? Or blind viewers? Oh, man.
When we succeed, we can worry about that. Until then...
Now I feel terrible. Oh, man. Still don't feel terrible about vacuuming up those useless sacks of crap outside your door. We have a store to run.
You are never being put in charge of human relations.
Funny that, I've done that work. People have called me horrible and wants to vacuum up people who turn into dust. Oh shit there, Genjiro. It's almost like you took an untrained little girl and put her inside a fucking battle suit and said, go kill some fucking Cthulhu spawn. Yeah, fuck. So I was incorrect. Hibiki does not actually know martial arts on the outset. In the manga, Genjiro trains her, and I think that's what's going to happen here. Still, though, you don't just magically become awesome put into a battle suit unless your name is Yuna Yuki for some reason.
Look, if you're going to be a scrub, get the fuck out there and die so I can give it to the next person.
That is the most heartless thing I've heard today. Somebody clean the air filter out of that fucking vacuum. These corpses are not dissipating into the wind fast enough.
Their rooms are awesome for being like a dorm-style junior high or high school, whatever this is.
In the middle of a city under constant attack by the Cthulhu Juniors that turn people to carbon dust. They have the best rooms, the most state-of-the-art corpse vacuums. It's a nice place to live.
See, I actually have a use for all that carbon. Turn them into hockey pucks.
They probably do. They probably recycled the human remains that were once people touched by the noise, and they make hockey pucks with them. This is the advent of progress in this world. They have human hockey pucks, Soylent, and
Soylent hockey
pencils. They make pencils. What else? Those carbon pills you swallow to settle an upset stomach.
The worms that when you light them up, they turn into...
Yeah, they make that out of people in this world.
Fireworks!
Yeah, sure, incendiaries.
That's how I'd want to go.
Yeah, so...
Put me into a bullet and fire me into the enemy.
How many people have signed up for Mars 1 on this planet? So Genjiro's got some skills.
And he needs them. Why?
Because if the noise touch him, he gets reduced to carbon.
Oh, I see. So humanity with their bare hands can fight back against them.
No, the moment he touches one, he's dead.
Okay,
he's not in a Symphogear.
Okay, I get
he's
that.
He's just Heihachi.
He just beat a Symphogear.
Yeah, no, he can do that. He's Heihachi. But even Heihachi would touch the... Okay, Heihachi maybe not. But...
Heihachi would probably bite one of their arms off.
No, like, the noise touch him and they disappear and he gets stronger. No, but Genjiro, he's not in one of the special anti-noise suits like they are. And he has none. He's just a badass fucking human.
No kidding!
Slightly super strong. Possibly...
Slightly?
Possibly Slade or Captain America, I'm not sure.
Okay, so we got this anime's version of Soul.
Soul bad guy. Soul would kill these girls. And probably the noise, too. Meanwhile, at Cobra Commander's base, I am responsible for the noise. I'm Skeletor, apparently. Meanwhile, at Skeletor's base, what does Cobra Commander sound like?
Not that!
You want to do a Cobra Commander quick for the mic?
Not really.
Why not?
Because I don't do voices.
You can do Cobra Commander.
I can't think of how he sounds.
Me neither. That's why I did Skeletor instead.
And that wasn't really Skeletor. That was more like Skullmageddon.
Who was totally Skeletor. You remember Skullmageddon's name?
Yes.
Get the fuck out.
Okay, at least the blonde-haired scientist from AO never tried to get it on with Shinji.
Okay, I take offense to that. Ryoko, see, she has the name that you always fuck up as Ryuko's. As a scientist should know that this whole popping cherry and virgin thing is all a fucking myth. She should be a lot smarter than that. If she's gonna mac on a minor, she should at least be using scientifically correct jargon about it. When she teases the minor about licking her vagina. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Oh, just stop.
At all.
Just stop.
The point is Ryoko's a bad scientist.
That's going to be a pet peeve of mine.
When people point out, oh, this isn't an anime, stupid, they literally have their attacks plastered on the screen when they do them, like they just spent level 2 tension gauge on them.
It's like, okay.
It's very clear they're in an anime. You're not fooling me. I'm not looking at these characters going, oh my god, they look like real Japanese girls.
It's not that. It's a reference that just isn't needed. Yes, we know we're watching an anime, and you're trying to make it out that you're not. Okay, great. Moving on. You're quirky. Just friends.
I will leap into the air, do like 3 backflips, aim a dive kick at you. The move name Dave Brainbuster will pop up. And then I will collide into your skull. Your skull's fragments will fire kinetically out of the solar system with such velocity that they will attract the attention of the Borg, dooming mankind. You fuck. That or I'll throw a noise at you. I won't turn to dust. They need, I'm assuming the people need to have souls, and I don't have one, so. I mean, I have a soul. I am just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll snort your dust like a drug.
I wonder if they have a weight limit for what they can convert to carbon.
It's like, they tried touching me, only a little bit, turns like, again. Okay, we found out that there are 2 things that can fight the noise. The attuned and fat people. Oh shit, we're gonna get recruited by Japan now. Oh, I don't want that. I don't have to make some loser friends. I don't care about their personal struggle.
Look, Carlos, you can be just friends.
I like how you can hear in Miku's voice how upset she is about this.
Mm-hmm. And something tells me that I hate to say that they're going to go out the whole trope. They're going to not be friends for a while and then become friends again, probably due to some almost being killed.
Well, things here happen a little differently from in the manga, so I'm not going to tell you anything.
Good. Why is she going all...
Because they're not just friends, Dave, that's why! That's why her eyes are glowing red! Because there's some clit-licking that ain't happening right now, and you are not going to take this from me! That's why her eyes are glowing red, you sack of crap!
I was going to ask why she was doing a whole Guilty Gear kind of thing, but they're totally just friends.
Folks, this has been the Carlos and Dave Anime Rave.
We're not done the episode yet. I say we move on around to the next Just Friends episode.
I am going... What I'm going to do to you, okay, it goes something like this. I am going to punch your ribcage so hard that it will seem like nothing happens. Then, in like 73 years, when you have just begun your immortal life because they've perfected that medical technology to make you like 20 forever, you will suddenly just fly off the face of the earth into the closest star and just be swallowed whole by the unending, unyielding fire of inevitability. You waste of matter. Yeah, let's move on to episode 4.
Episode 4 of... Platonic
No!
Friends. Just Platonic Friends.
Let me live vicariously through the love of Japanese girls. I need this to live.
I guess you're about to die. Why in the fuck does it seem like all of these magical girls have to fight in high fucking heels?
Agreed.
Like, we already know society hates them for having high heels in the first place. And workplaces actually demanding they wear high heels. But, really? You're gonna make people who are running around and fighting do this in high heels? This isn't good for their backs.
Or any part of their body,
Or
honestly.
balance, also. These swan songs really need, like, 2 people to turn keys to activate. Because they're just singing it out loud whenever they want.
Yeah, just... The problem with having an Ultima spell that kills you if you use it is that it kills you if you use it.
Exactly. And a shitty Ultima spell at that.
Yeah, what's with these shitty Ultimas? After FF6, where it was broken as shit, they just kept nerfing and nerfing Ultima. It does less damage, it kills you, it doesn't even kill the other guy.
Like,
we need some brachiosaurs here to help them out, man.
okay, so now we're changing the rules on this swan song of death.
Well, I would argue that since Kaneda's quite a bit more, Kanade, since she's quite a bit more intense, that when she does the stupid swan song, it is so intense that it works awesomely and kills her, whereas Tsubasa's resolve is not quite up there, because she really doesn't want to die yet, even though she was totally in love with Kanade, and totally thinks she wants to die to be with her.
So what you're saying is she wants to live because they were just friends.
What I'm saying is that when I sing my swan song, which is to say this machete here, it's not going to kill me. You, on the other hand, may experience different painful results. I hate you so much, Dave. Will people stop reminding me of that? I am well aware I have Iron Man fragments in my chest. I talked to Tony Stark already. He's building me the stupid reactor. Stop telling me about Gungnir in my heart, please.
But unlike Tony, who was trying to use the electromagnet to make sure that the fragments didn't get into his heart and kill him, hers are already in her heart.
Good work, Nancy Drew. You fucking figured out the holes in my story. I'm so glad I got you around to fact check all my little jokes I make.
Yep.
Seriously, where would we be if we didn't have you here to point out the logical inconsistencies and the nonsense I spew?
Well, our audience would be stupider, that's for sure. See? Just friends.
You keep trying to tease me with this, but it's very clear that these two are future lovers and destined to be with one another. And if all the Hibimiku art I have is any indication, you can kiss my ass. Yo, why you stealing Makoto's outfit there, Hibiki? That's Makoto's outfit.
I'm totally okay with her dressing as Makoto and him as Akuma.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm totally okay with that.
The problem is that Makoto historically beats Akuma in the matchup charts, which I find hilarious. You think Miku's thinking, I wonder if she's a superhero.
Really liking the show.
It's a good show. I like the characters. I like that the characters who are suffering for reasons that I totally buy into, and they are totally, hopefully, going to advance, and it's not just suffering for the sake of it, which I don't like when any show does. I think Hibiki is a great protagonist. I like how she's growing into her role as, what if Sakura had to fight Cthulhu monsters? I like Miku's character as the kind of unaware love interest / confidant. New evil Symphogear user is intriguing as well. Has a cool spike whip as a weapon. Spike whips are always awesome.
Kind of had to go with it couldn't just stay with the noise.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, unlike Madoka Magica and Yuki Yuna, yay! This show presents us with villains, and I like that. Because while there's something to be said for having no villain and just making nature or something ambiguously, vaguely, malevolent as the villain, or inevitability or time or whatever, that's all fine and good, and there are storyline things to explore with that, but I love me some villains. I love me some Triple H. I need me some villains, Dave. I like villains. In the manga, the villain we got, I wasn't a big fan of, and I don't know if they're going to use that same villain here, and if they do, I hope they do a better job with that person. But otherwise, yeah, great show. I'm enjoying it. I seriously hope that graveyard scene at the beginning is just a fake out, because I want to see Hibiki and Miku grow old together, have children somehow. Fuck off. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. But the real question is, when are they going to fucking sweep up the corpse dust from my front lawn? I've told them repeatedly I don't want Jill and Joe littering my lawn anymore. I don't care who's mourning for them. Get that dust off of my private property. I have a business to run.
Sorry, the cleanup crew is just friends.
I don't even know why you think that was funny, but it wasn't. And you know what? I've threatened to kill you a lot in this video. One more ain't gonna hurt. Well, you know what I'd like to do to you, Dave? I would like to suplex you into some bullets. Yes, let's go with that one. It's the 5th episode of Senki Zesshou.
Wow, you didn't do a Gurren Lagann reference.
Super Turbo Champion Edition.
Capcom.
Plus Alpha. And even though he is not on the cover, he is in the show with a sticker on the cover that says featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. And Knuckles.
See, you had me until you had to ruin it with that.
With what? Knuckles?
Knuckles.
People call him Knuckles, though. Unlike Sonic, he don't chuckle.
Yeah,
He'd rather flex his muscles.
Here we go.
He's hard as nails.
Turning this into crap.
It ain't hard to tail. He breaks them down, whether they're solid or frail.
Those were fucking trash.
You don't make fun of Knuckles' raps!
I will make fun of Knuckles' raps, as well as Knuckles.
Knuckles is awesome. His raps
idiotic,
are awesome. Pumpkin Hill rap is the best.
That idiotic.
I ain't gonna let it get to me.
Naive.
It ain't gonna.
Never growing up. Piece
down
of
at
crap.
Pumpkin Hill. I gots to find my lost piece. You know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet.
Her and Yuna would get along so well.
Oh, they'd get along swimmingly. Yeah, what the hell did you say, Genjuro? Smash you're the bolt that's smashing the thunder that made... I think you got it wrong. I don't think you know how physics works.
I like her.
Alarming for a guy who's the head of a national security agency.
I like her reaction, though. I have no idea what you just said, but let's go for it.
Agreed.
See? She wasn't being coy.
Okay, here's what I don't understand about your garbage puns. Okay, we all know that they're garbage, right? But it's like there's no time at all between when you think of a garbage pun and when you just have to blurt it out into my virgin ears. It's just no time.
I've penetrated those ears so often, there's nothing virginal about them.
Now, does that make you gay for me? Or I don't understand how I'm supposed to make fun of that. I know I have to.
Solomon's Cane. What happened to the activation test at Holy Relic we handed over?
As reported, activation test of Holy Relic significant level of point gain. It can't be done so easy.
Black art. Unveiling the vanished prehistoric civilization technology. And definitely making it meet our own.
So it's give and take. I appreciate for the support from your country. I require your success on the docking today too.
So, you absolutely have a mind to use me. If that's the case, let's see your action that matches this deal.
Of course, I understand. As there is a saying that more docile dog is longer to live.
Holy shit, these English...
Wow, they should have just said it in Japanese.
Holy shit!
They should have just said that in Japanese, man, because
this is bad.
That is worse than the worst dubs I've ever heard. And I'm counting Mega Man 8 in that category.
Wow! I mean, I remember the lines that were done in English in Ghost in the Shell. I mean, not only are they trying to do an English voice, but they're trying to add an American accent into it as well. Like a Southern American accent.
Oh, man.
This is... Wow! I also love how the subtitles, English subtitles we're reading, are based off the Japanese subtitles, because they weren't matching what they were saying.
This is embarrassing to hear. That is so bad.
Oh,
like,
God.
okay, look, I just want people to know this, okay? I have, whenever subbers get all like, oh, dubs don't preserve the original intent, I just point out to bad examples of where in Japanese fiction they get English horribly wrong. And this is one of them. But, I mean, it's not even just that. Like, if you absolutely must have someone speaking another language for your fiction, which you don't really need at all, because if 47 Ronin can be all in English... and it takes place entirely in Japan, and it stars Keanu Reeves. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you can do that. If you absolutely have it, hire native speakers. If I needed someone to speak Japanese in a production of mine, it's going to be a person who speaks Japanese fluently, preferably from Japan, or who spoke Japanese as their first fucking language.
There are enough English-speaking nationals in Japan that all they'd have to do is... like, can you do a line for us? And they do it.
Yeah, this is...
there are enough English teaching Australians, Americans, etc. that are there to teach English that all you need to do is point a finger and they'd say yes.
Like, this isn't even like just move names or something. There's a world of difference between the English voice actor for Ryu shouting Tatsumaki Senpukyak wrong, and important plot points for an entire scene being butchered. There's a mountain of difference between this shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if you're gonna do it right. Otherwise, just have them speaking in Japanese.
Yeah.
In Guilty Gear, in the fiction of Guilty Gear, actual Japanese is super rare. Everyone's actually not speaking Japanese in the world. However, all the lines are in Japanese because that's the presentation of the game. They even refer to it, like Chip will say in perfect Japanese, "Hey, Anji, you want to teach me some Japanese today?" I mean, and they don't give a shit about presenting the whole thing in Japanese.
Yeah.
47 Ronin was in English, and this was a Japanese tale.
This is...
do it in your native language.
Yes.
Because it's better to do it there and be accused of being unrealistic than this. It sounds like what a non-English speaking person thinks English sounds like.
An American sounds like.
This.
I mean, this is very obviously an American accent done by a Japanese person.
This makes me think that I can't speak English, and the Tower of Babel just scrambled my brain, and now I'm not really understanding what she's telling me, even though I think I should.
Man. I'm getting a real vibe from this woman. Ryuko's mother.
What's her name, Dave?
You have to look it up too, don't you?
No, I know her name, but I'm helping you. Trust me, this'll all make sense when I load this. Okay, what's her name, Dave? Come on, Dave.
I'm drawing a blank.
Remember, she raped her daughters.
I know! That's why I'm referencing it here.
Come on, doesn't this Japanese German help you fucking remember?
I think I've got the actual English version of this.
There's no real English version. It's a Japanese singer doing German. The song's name is Blumenkranz. I was about to say Queen's Eel's theme. Her name is Ragyo Kiryu.
There we go. I couldn't remember her last name. That's how much of a blank I was.
Whoa, you remembered Ragyo?
No, I couldn't remember even her last name.
Kiryuin?
Yeah.
But that's Satsuki's name.
I know, and I was drawing a complete blank.
I thought you were mad in love with Satsuki.
Anyway, I'm getting a real vibe from this chick. And yeah, I see where some of your fan service comments are coming in.
Here, it's more creepy than anything, I think.
I mean, I don't mind the outfit, but still, it's bondage torture.
That's just disgusting, Dave. No, I think in this scene, it's more meant to be disturbing, and is disturbing.
It is. Okay, but here's the other problem. If everybody had it, then war would just go from being tanks and airplanes to being girls with Symphogear.
Here's where I'm going to call bullshit on the show a little bit. Only Japan figured this out.
All it takes is the right materials to activate something.
Sure. But the noise are a worldwide phenomena. Unless they're implying that every single relic is Japanese in origin, which is just silly.
Or just rare as fuck.
It could be, and they got lucky. But I mean, that part, that's still something where I'm like, yeah, it's kind of iffy.
Quick, check her pulse by leaving the area.
Also, we haven't been checking her pulse constantly. What's that beeping then? It's just some asshole in the corner being like, beep, beep. Oh, sorry. Is this annoying you?
It's like you have all these instruments there, and they literally scrambled everywhere they aren't. Check your vitals.
And this is the country that developed the science that no other country can replicate. Okay.
You must be Defense Minister, Mr. Hiroki.
Yes, more. More, please. Why wouldn't the guy sent to Japan speak Japanese? If we want to get real logical here.
Because they're idiots. Okay, so there's really no doubt that she's the bad guy. She's either fine or she's working with fun. They're trying to make a quirky character we're supposed to believe, everything's alright, but she has the briefcase now from the assassination scene. Really? An organization in charge of keeping people alive like this? There has to be oversight, absolutely, just like with the military. But decisions made about artifacts, powers, and people really shouldn't come from some bean counter.
They shouldn't come from bean counters, but there's an argument to make that there's only a certain amount of autonomy a military should have, lest that military go out of control, United States.
Wow, we're just really on the U.S. thing today, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, aren't we? You'll be in the obvious pink car, Hibiki.
Sir, is there a reason why we have 4 totally obvious government-issued vehicles and 1 pink car that just stands right out as a target?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes, we do have a good reason. All right, everyone, move out. Don't get killed out there. I'm especially talking to the people in the pink car.
Sir, are we honestly transporting this almost complete relic in a briefcase? Sir?
Well, what do you
Sir.
want? You want me to get some metal slugs? That's a video game, Steve. Okay? That's a video game.
How about a tank or at least something stronger than a briefcase?
Listen,
Sir.
Listen, Steve, shut the fuck up. I think the final boss is approaching.
Sir, why are we being issued red shirts?
In addition, why are our cars highly explosive to minor force?
I don't want to work for this organization.
Okay, this is my 2 weeks. And by 2 weeks, I mean fuck off, I'm leaving now.
Didn't I comment on that like an episode or 2 ago?
Well, I'm glad she realized that was stupid. It's also good that they can modify their outfit through brute force.
Nice.
That was episode 5 of Senki Zesshou Symphogear.
On episode 6.
Alpha Gold Edition.
I don't know, I think every episode as she levels up, you need to add another word to it.
Oh god, I'll lose track of it before long. It would be like the most pointless game of Simon. So completely pointless.
Yeah.
Simon.
I kind of like how it looks like an alien architecture is taking over this rich mansion.
Yeah, it does kind of look like the Symphony of the Night Castle. Like, there's the outer wall there, and you could tell that the caverns are in the mountain embedded inside. I see the chapel, and I see every boring hallway in that overrated fucking game.
But how do you really feel?
No, I like playing it.
Most of us do.
Oh, yeah. It's overrated as shit, though.
I think it's one of my favorite Castlevania games.
That's ridiculous. Did you not play it?
Yeah.
You can tell when the developers were just like, fuck it, put nothing in this hallway. Or in the case of the second castle, fuck it, put nothing in this castle.
Ah!
I'm starting to realize Symphogear is at its worst when it's not being Symphogear. When it's trying to be government drama, it kind of sucks.
Oh, no, it's just every bad cliche about government oversight ever. It's like my argument against what happens in the XCOM games. I mean, yes, for a game you need to have challenges the person has to go through. So you can't give them unlimited funds. But the fact is, if the world was under attack by aliens, the money be flowing to the guys who can take out the aliens. It's like, oh, we're only going to give you $500,000 this month because, you know, you didn't quite do your last mission good enough. Sorry, you only get 5 bullets, not 6, because fuck you.
See, this is the problem with having the school also be every other building that's important to this.
Why is the medical center that's treating your special agent up in the common area?
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone could just peer in there from the library and get jealous that the love of their life is seemingly attending to another girl. This show's at its best when it's showing us the drama between our leads. That's what this show does really well.
I don't mind a bunch of the government stuff. It's just...
It's so lame.
It's so cliche.
It's bad. It's plain bad. And the whole reveal of Ryoko as fine... Yeah, you caught it right away. it's blatantly, painfully obvious in the manga as well.
Okay.
And there's very little mystery behind it. I'm surprised you didn't bring it up sooner, to be honest.
Well,
I was keeping it to myself because I didn't want to spoil it all like I did with Madoka. But I mean, I was thinking, every time I was thinking to myself, how long before Dave notices that the butterfly on her choker is exactly the same as the butterfly in her hair?
here's the thing. I saw it earlier, and I even commented about Ryoko being weird.
And I didn't say anything.
I know, but I was willing to give the show the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't that obvious. But no, this is Gendo Akari, basically. It's just...
See, I actually believe her when she says she wants to fucking, like, just molest the shit out of Hibiki, because I think she really does just want to molest the shit out of Hibiki.
It makes you wonder, I mean, if she was the one who... What did she do to Hibiki?
What do you mean?
She's too centered on Hibiki, and she would have been one of the ones who operated on her 2 years earlier. What did she do? The very fact that the fragments were in her means that they knew ahead of time that this was more than likely going to happen. This wasn't a surprise to her and probably the commander.
I guess we're going to find out, aren't we?
But yeah, no, this whole thing here. So your friend is now becoming friends with another person. It's okay.
No, but she's jealous, and that's why this is great. It's like in the last episode when Hibiki looked at that magazine and saw that hot woman, and she was turning away and blushing. No, there's sexual realization happening here. It's good stuff. It's like what happened in Gunner Krieg. You were trying to just friends that as well. Axe kick your shoulder into your anus.
Just friends.
Hate you. Yeah, tell her everything, Hibiki. That'll learn her.
So, yeah, what you said.
We all know that Hibiki's only doing this because she's trying to reach an understanding with Chris.
Still, this is a stupid move. You don't just reveal everything about yourself, even though it's obvious the enemy can just track her down.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there really isn't much point of not introducing yourself, because they can find her somehow.
Yep. That move is called break your fucking ribs. I call it the rib cracker. It works by hitting your ribs so hard, they crack, motherfucker.
Wasn't there an enemy in Speed Grapher that did something like that? Had like a jackhammer sort of thing that whenever he punched something, it then went boom?
Why the fuck are you bringing up Speed Grapher?
It just...
I don't recall such an enemy in Speed Grapher. I remember the crazy dentist, the crystal woman, the guy who turned his head into a speaker, the main guy with the sniper rifle, long-range lens camera, the main bad guy who wanted to destroy all money, the underage girl in love with the overage main character, the crazy cop lady, the guy who turned into a dog.
She was 16.
I don't care. The guy who turned into a dog. That show was fucked up.
You know,
everything I just mentioned happened, too.
We need to do a small segment of recollections of older anime. Not rewatch them, just talk about them. But no, I remember there being an enemy in one of the animes we've seen. I thought it was Speed Grapher, where the person Wait, it was Scride.
Scride. Which character? The main guy?
Wasn't it the main guy that he basically had, like, he would punch and it would go boom? Because he had
he had shocking first
He had a
bullet,
booster.
Shocking first bullet, something second bullet. Yeah, who's the main guy? Kazuma? That sounds right, Kazuma. And then the Kai guy was Ryuho.
Yes.
And
that's where it was from. Had just that sort of ability.
God, Scride was so dumb, but awesome.
It
but
was.
Dumb.
Both. At the same time. Okay, you've only read the manga enough for, like, season 1, right?
Yeah. Things happen a little differently in the manga, though. There are already differences.
Okay, I'll be asking you for the differences later.
Mm-hmm.
But so if she's actually almost as powerful as Tsubasa's swan song.
Well, here's the thing: Hibiki isn't manifesting her weapon; she's changing the energy that would go into manifesting it into power and just punching people with it. Her attacks don't have the big banners the other people have. That's because she's not really using her gear right. She's using it completely wrong. And that's why it's so fucking powerful.
So what you're saying is she's using it in the perfect way for her that breaks the system, and therefore the rest should join her.
Yeah, that's why she broke the heels, and she's just fucking channeling it. Because this works for her, right?
Yeah.
So she's doing what Luke Cage did to Doctor Doom. She's just punching. All I'm good at is punching? Fine. I'll punch the shit out of everything then.
But are we talking like she's going to be exponentially more powerful than everybody?
Biki's pretty powerful.
Okay. We have a code Ichibo. Code Ichibo.
At least it's better than a code Kugutsu. Nobody invite that ninja back here. I still smell the smoke.
But Carlos! Kugutsu.
Kugutsu?
Kugutsu.
And who uses a Kugutsu? A Kugutsoi? Kugutsoi?
Quick! Put up the,
Shinobi Beacon. We need to
Shinobi Beacon.
fire it into the sky. Just let everyone know where we are. You know what? The show needs more explosions.
Let's Michael Bay this shit up. Shoot a tree? Explosion. Shoot a blade of grass? Explosion. Shoot the air? Explosion.
Air is combustible.
Only when it's like, what? 90 some odd % oxygen?
It's still combustible.
It's combustible when condensed and compressed and almost pure. Not when it's, breathable air.
So those are episodes 5, 6, and 7 of Senki Zesshou Symphogear. Alpha 3, New Age of Heroes.
The next episode is labeled A Hero Returns. I'm really liking this show.
It's good. It's like it's very well animated. There are things it does really well and things it does poorly, and the things it does really well I really, really, really like. Obviously, we have drama between Hibiki and Miku now, which I like. Again, this happened a little differently in the manga, where Miku only finds out more towards the end of this arc, and Hibiki's the one who runs away because she thinks Miku wants nothing to do with her, and Miku is the one who
chases her.
But in the anime, they decided Miku didn't like the secrets that were being kept, obviously. Didn't want to live with this person who just lied. And I'm going to, of course, read into it being that it's because they're in love with each other and they don't want to have these secrets. But that will always be what I read into any relationship between two women in anime. So, what did you think of them?
I think the Just Friends broke up.
Oh, they'll be okay.
Of course they are. I give it 2 episodes. Until they make it. Mainly because there's only 13 episodes to this.
Yeah, that's right. To this season, anyway.
Yeah, and from what little I do know is that they're self-contained seasons kind of thing. So I don't think they'd let... I don't even think that it's that she doesn't like her anymore. It's just that...
She's confused. This is difficult
she's
to take.
confused, yeah.
She's hurt because her friend has been keeping things from her and lying.
But yet she realizes on some level that why she had to. Yeah, it's one of those complicated ones that I like, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Even at its worst, this show is good. I mean, the cliched government stuff, I know why it's there, and I'm willing to give it just an okay, not a bad.
You know, I'm going to be honest, this show's not having the same heart-crushing effect as Yuki Yuna, probably because I know there are 3 more seasons coming.
Well...
And in the promotional art, I know that both Hibiki and Miku are still around, so... Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Hopefully Season 2 and Season 3 actually includes them. It isn't just some other team.
Yeah, in all honesty, what's-her-face? The one who was killed, what's her name? Fuck. Okay, there's Hibiki and Miku. There's the blue-haired girl, the emo, you call her emo. There's her name is Tsubasa. What's the name of the red-haired girl who died?
Deddy McGee.
Deddy McGee is still very prominent in all the art for all the seasons.
Do you want a spoiler?
Folks, reminder that spoilers and offensive content are happening.
With that.
I know. I'm doubling up. I'm doubling up, reinforcing. Spoil away.
She's dead.
Oh.
Period. She isn't coming back.
I'm pretty sure she's coming back.
That's the one thing I do know is for Season 2 and Season 3, If it isn't the same cast of characters, she's not there.
What the fuck was her name?
Deddy McGee.
Right, Deddy McGee. You're right. You got it.
Here we go. Episode.
Adventures of Deddy McGee and her undead friends. Gotcha. Let's do this shit. We talked a little bit last time after we were done recording about how pissed off we were with Miku. But have you had any more thoughts about Miku's actions and what she said to Hibiki? I've had a few, but I want to hear from you.
Well, I'm waiting to see, like, there's got to be a conversation here soon on why she's so pissed off. It can't just be, how dare you save me, and fuck you.
I agree, because, yeah, okay, there's keeping secrets from your best friend, and let's be honest, probably future lover.
Just
friends. I'm going to kill you! There's going to be a murder.
I got it out before you got yours.
There's going to be a murder.
Hashtag
just friends. So these just friends, lesbian lovers. Obviously, like, okay, I see why keeping secrets can be bad in a relationship. And, you know, definitely in a relationship you need to establish with your partner the kinds of boundaries, how much of your own individuality or your own kind of sphere you're allowed to have. Some couples want to be completely open with everything. Some couples are okay with having secrets. I'm going to say that regardless of how open you are, I'm a secret superhero that can't give you my identity to keep you safe because otherworldly Cthulhu monsters might kill us otherwise, is definitely an exception.
However, that's still a conversation they have to have here yet.
Yes.
And that's a problem.
And then I was thinking about that. Because I was pretty pissed. I was like, why is Miku doing that? Like, I get it. She's her own individual. She's allowed to say, I don't want to be friends with someone who does this. But, I mean, the issue is, I don't believe for a second that that's really what she feels here. That she really has this prejudice against the people who protect her. So obviously she's either mad because Hibiki kept the secret from her, in which case breaking off their friendship is hugely drastic and way over the line. Or it's going to be some weird, stupid, noble maiden thing where she's like, to protect the person I love, I don't want her worrying about me, so I broke things off with her. And in fact, she didn't want to, but felt it was the best choice.
Yeah, I can see that last one being very easy to pull off.
And again, in the manga, this happened a bit differently. Miku was not upset with Hibiki for having kept this secret. And in fact, Hibiki was worried that Miku was going to think that she was a freak.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I was thinking about this in fiction, where kids in school do these amazing heroic things. Everything from this to Harry Potter, where the school officials on some level do or should know about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you save the world and stop evil prophecies from making everything shit or causing the apocalypse or whatever, that should count as course credit. I don't like the idea that an apprentice or a student can do this amazing thing and still think that they need to be an apprentice or a student. That should be grounds for immediate graduation. I even think this in Star Trek. I think a lot of people are saying it's dumb that Kirk got immediately promoted to captain in the new Star Trek movie, where he basically skipped every goddamn officer rank and went right to captain. But I agree with that. I think when you're that damn good, you should be a captain. I don't think when you take command in a scenario where you know the captain's down and you have to take command to save everyone, I don't think you should just get an extra pip. You should get an extra 5.
That's why the second movie was actually brilliant in some of the things that it did, in that he was being an immature jackass as a captain. They demoted him, and then he earned that back through being kick-ass.
In about 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, 5 minutes of the movie, yeah.
Because they're like, okay, fuck this. We can't demote him. Are we stupid? Get back in here. But even then, that makes me so mad. Like, I was reading the Voyager novel that takes place after Voyager comes home, and everyone got an immediate promotion to their next rank. And I'm like, motherfucker, Harry Kim shouldn't just get lieutenant. He should be a commander at least. Don't just could pull him up. Okay, to bring this back to school, yeah. Hibiki should be getting course credit here and should be a special case for school authorities, allowed to make up things and allowed to skip some of it. I'm going to argue that fighting the noise counts as many hours of practical application and education. It should at least be, let's say, 15 credits a kill.
Well, all I'm saying is if she's called out of class or if she can't attend, there should be no negatives here for her.
Agreed. Completely.
It should be automatically, they're talking to the teacher like, yeah, she got pulled out for special courses.
I remember the day after I had my surgery to remove my cancer-ridden left testicle, I was working from home, admittedly, but I was at work again. And then my supervisor was like, Carlos, take some time off.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
If I can get that, she should get that for fighting the fucking apocalypse noise things. In the manga, both Hibiki and Miku found Chris injured. And Hibiki did not recognize Chris as Chris because I believe she still had the mask on. But I believe Chris did recognize Hibiki, so she was rather taken aback that the two of them basically brought her back to their apartment, cleaned her up, fed her, etc., etc.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's not how concrete works. But I'm okay with it because it's him.
Genjuro is the biggest badass in the world. He is clearly superhuman, and yet he can't go out regularly fighting the noise because one touch and he's done.
That sucks.
I know, because he's technically still human and bound. Like, he doesn't have the... If they could just find a way to put a field around him, he should be out there fighting, because he's clearly fucking Deathstroke, at least. I like that she came around quickly. Normally, I don't like things to get resolved this quickly, but I think in this case it works, because it shows us that people can have momentary lapses in judgment when they hear bad news. Miku, sweet as she may be, is no different. She is human, and subject to human error like anyone else.
And we don't have that many episodes for them to...
There's also that.
I gotta say that if they do keep the same characters, I don't want to see Miku as one of them.
I want to see Miku as a loving wife to our Hibiki. And it better happen, or I will cleft you in twain with an axe kick. I've threatened to murder you so many times. In a real fight, I'm pretty sure that I'm the one who dies.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, we'll see. Bring it. One day we gotta film a sword fight.
Wow, so they really actually brought the voice actor back for new lines this far in.
Like, she's getting more lines than Itsuki did when she lost her voice. There might be Yuki Yuna spoilers in this, by the way.
I think Itsuki had a few more lines than her so far, but yeah, pretty much.
This is so cruel to say, but I kind of want her to just get re-injured again in her first fight, be like, motherfucker!
Yes, go to a karaoke place when basically all you do is sing during combat.
Yeah, but that's work, Dave.
All I mean is of the three of them, two of them should have no problem.
We were playing Rock Band with our buddies, and I was singing. And I was singing in this voice, and I got like 97%.
I still like the early Rock Bands where they couldn't really figure out how to do rap very well for tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, my first attempt at a rap, well, I'm trying so hard to keep it going, and then I just start breaking into laughter.
And the laughter counted.
And the laughter counted, so I scored 100% on the rap song. And you could just by repeating a couple words, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's all rap's really worth anyway.
The rap is awesome, and you just blow. Okay, Hibiki's getting broken really fast. She literally just shocking first bulleted that whole group to death. I'm making a lot of Scryed references lately.
To quote Iron Man 2 on this one, you should really open with that. Like every
She
time.
did! She opened with it!
But permanently. This should be the first... This is the opening move for every combat. Just wipe out the army in one shot.
I'm really digging her pile bunker armband. Her Slayer from Guilty Gear would be like, that's a fucking pile bunker.
It's becoming a shoulder pad.
Well, no, because when it presses down, that's
no.
So she's pulling it as far as she can.
I get that, but at some point, what is it going to be like?
Way above her head.
Sky?
Notice it's much longer than the actual device used to contain it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I need to power up a little bit more. Okay, I need to dislocate my arm. Okay, need a couple meters.
I like this episode. I like that it was a Tsubasa healing kind of episode and bonding with Hibiki and Miku kind of episode. The only thing I kind of wish is that Tsubasa said something about Kanade at the concert. Like, she doesn't have to spill her guts about it, but it would have been nice to hear her say something like how she misses her friend Kanade so much and how, she thought that she couldn't pull it alone, but she wants to try. And I see why they didn't have her say that, because they want to show that she's become her own entity. But at the same time, obviously she was part of a duo and their partner died and people know this, right? So
I have a counter to that, though.
Counter it!
The people weren't told that she was dead.
I'm pretty sure, to deflect questions, it was mentioned that during the attack that one of the two gull wings was it gull wings? Zwei Wings was killed.
They actually mentioned, though, that people were told that she retired, not that she was dead.
I don't recall this.
Episode 1.
I don't recall this.
I do.
I still have to edit it up, though, so perhaps I'll take a look and correct myself if you were right.
Episode 1, they mentioned that she had retired. It would have made too much sense if they said that she died.
I suppose this show does like to not make sense. So... I like Symphogear so far. The good outweighs the bad. There's a lot of bad. But
I don't even consider it bad. It's annoying. Yes, I don't like fan service for the sake of fan service, but it's annoying.
Even I don't think. I think it's more than that. I think it's wholly unnecessary. For Hibiki and Miku, for the sake of themselves, fine. Because the show is hinting very strongly on the Yuris. But I mean, when it's just Chris, like, turning to the side and her tits are going all dead or alive.
Boobs bounce like that.
Yeah,
that's a bad segment, yes.
That's very bad. And I mean, they deal with the heroes going through pain very well, and even Chris. But then the whole plot is stupid, kind of. Like, it's very vague. And I suspect it's not vague on purpose. I suspect the plot is very vague because, kind of like with Ava, the creators of the show have no idea how they want it to go. And the big end game here is simultaneously still being worked on and stupid. Like, this isn't going to be some terribly meaningful fucking, like... Maybe the later seasons will change this, but especially if what the manga had as an indicator, like, nothing about the conflict.
There's no big payoff. That's what you're saying.
There's payoff in, like, this is a character-driven show, but it's also plot-driven just enough that we have to deal with this silly story about noise and ancient prophecies and whatnot that ultimately are just there to further the characters' stories. And normally I'm okay with that, but I kind of want that plot to kind of make sense. Like, in Yuki Yuna, they just had to establish that the Vertex were a malevolent god force that hates humanity for its sins. And that's all you really needed. And but this is more like Ava in the bad way, where the angels aren't really defined, and we just get vague hints that the intent is to get people talking and come to their own conclusion, but it's so ambiguous and vague that there's no real solid basis to form thoughtful speculation. But here's the thing, I like these characters more than I like Shinji and Asuka. So, I mean,
well,
that I'll live with. That I'll live with, right? Like, I can live with Symphogear. Like, I'll never consider this as good as I consider some of the best things we've watched on this anime rave.
Yeah.
But this is still a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, they could reveal a whole bunch of stuff that makes us look at the first 9 episodes or however many episodes is, oh, okay, well, that makes everything clear. I don't expect that in season 1.
Well, I mean, we do have another 3 seasons now because
4.
Another 3. Thank you. I used my numbers correctly.
No, you didn't. 5 total seasons.
Oh,
Therefore, 4 more.
haha! I thought it was 4 total. My mistake. So, yeah, you're right. My mistake. So, I mean, we have 4 more fucking seasons to kind of smooth over the flaws and to do what the show does right better, and to conversely fuck up what it did right.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Well, there's only 3 seasons out total right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've just announced another 2,
Yep.
which, based on what we've seen so far, I see why it's popular. I'm actually more surprised that one of the North American publishers hasn't picked it up.
Yeah, this is a big missing one. I'm still shocked Yuki Yuna made it out here.
That was picked up by a unknown group.
Yeah, I would have thought of all the obscure, too Japanese to be understood here kind of cartoons, that Yuki Yuna would have been it. But no, it made it out. But Symphogear, which is definitely similar enough to animes that have succeeded out here, still has not seen a Western release. It's very strange to me, actually.
I could see it being... There's 2 ways they could do it. They could leave the Japanese voices in for singing, though that would be a pain mixing in the English voices on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, or there are some of the voice actors out there that can sing quite well.
If any group is going to try to tackle an English version of Symphogear, I want them to go all in.
Yeah.
I want them to write original songs. I want involvement and okay from the original Japanese writers. I want all in if they're going to do an English version. This is the kind of show where if they're going to do an English version, it had better blow the Japanese version just away. Like, this is the kind of thing where I want a dub to just be one of the best dubs I've ever heard. Because otherwise, why would I watch this in English? Like, look, I'm fine with dubs, and I like great dubs, and I like good dubs, and I think a lot of dubs are better than a lot of sub-elitists give them credit for. However, I'm totally okay with releasing a show here as a Japanese language subtitle thing as the official release. Not everything needs a dub.
I'm very much mixed on that exact topic. Because if you're going to release something out here only subbed,
Mm-hmm.
it had better not be regular price.
That's ridiculous. You don't think money went into the original creation of this thing? You don't think that money went into the translation and to make sure that the subs are good quality? Hell, man, if I had way more money than I have, I would be donating to every one of the subgroups of these things that we watch. The fan subs, which we watch a lot of.
Oh, sure.
I know a lot of them are just say, hey, we do this for free, whatever. But that, like, you don't, like, that kind of stuff costs money. Say it should cost less than normal, that's being elitist the other way.
And I realize there's problems with that as well. It's just, let's take Funimation directly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They've had a couple series that people have been like, well, why are you releasing this with no dub? I mean, Funimation primarily does dubs.
Mm-hmm.
But they've grabbed a couple series where it's like, well, we don't think there's enough interest in it. We're just going to bring up a subtitled release. And Funimation learned really quickly that if they do that, if they're releasing an entire regular dub series at like $60, they bump it down to $40 for a sub-only release.
Okay, now hang on. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about keeping it at the same rip-off price it is in Japan, where they charge like $50 for a DVD with 2 episodes on it.
No, I'm talking the North American market.
Yeah, I'm talking about on our baseline pricing on this continent.
Mm-hmm.
So however much it is in the States, and then add 300% for the Canadian. It's nonsensical to me that a sub-only release would be cheaper. Well, okay, hang on. There is the practical thing here where dub releases tend to have the Japanese language and subtracks anyway. So yeah, okay, I guess it is missing one component that those have.
Yeah, like if you're releasing out here and you're just going with the sub-only release,
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect to pay the same price for a regular 13-episode series for a sub-only release. if you're doing that, my interest is automatically no.
Well,
Now,
I think it also
because
depends.
I like dubs with my North American released anime.
Okay, fine, but I mean, let's also consider that a sub of something can still have a lot of work put into it. Like,
Absolutely.
if there's a lot of extra promotional materials, if the subs are really good quality, if
Sure.
if there's a lot of promotional materials and packaging stuff and bonuses and extra content, then I mean, I could justify that price too without having the dub on it. Like, not everything needs a dub. I watch enough foreign language movies with subtitles that I don't go, well, I don't need a dubbed Pan's Labyrinth, for instance. I don't need a dubbed Metropolis. I don't need a dubbed Kung Fu Hustle. Like,
And yet all three of those were awesome. Well, two, actually.
well, sure, but I mean, but it wasn't required. Like, Pan's Labyrinth released out here subtitled.
And then got a dub.
Yeah, later.
Yep.
It found its success subtitled. So, I mean, and
I remember.
that was a story so steeped in kind of Spanish, like, storytelling that it was difficult to do. That's not to say that Symphogear can't have a dub. It's just, this is a case where if someone went, there's so much singing, and so much of it is so Japanese that a dub is difficult. That's why, if they're even going to try a dub, do all new recorded songs, make it so good that in Japan they're trying to import it because of how good it is.
The only actual dubbing company I would trust with something like this would be Funimation. I say that because the dubs out of Animax are...
Or Aniplex, you mean?
Actually, same studio. But yeah, Aniplex. Are a mixed bag. Funimation tends to have higher production value.
Sometimes.
They have a better track record, put it that way. I have a couple that I've bought where it's been like, no, I'm only watching this in Japanese. But yeah, it would have to be all in. They'd have to put a lot of effort in. I'd even say that the company that did Yuki Yuna,
Ponycan
could actually maybe pull it off. I mean, the production value they did for Yuki Yuna was good.
It was good. That's it. It was not stellar, and near the end, it kind of dropped off.
And you and I disagree on that.
Sure, but it totally dropped off. And if I'm looking for a dub company to hit it out of the park, it's not Ponycan. Ponycan is who I look for if I want them to do a good enough job. But to...
Based on the one anime you've seen from them.
Yeah, so that's my basis from them.
They've only done 2, from what I can tell.
So, yeah, no, like... If I want, I'm talking about, like, seriously, get the Cowboy Bebop team in on this. Get the guys who did Trigun. Get the guys who did Blood Blockade Battlefront. And while you're at it, go hire that voice director that all the DC and Nickelodeon studios use. Christina, what's her face?
Well, until you got that last part, so basically you want Funimation.
Close. Yeah, like just nail it.
Who did Cowboy Bebop? Gainax, who is now Funimation. Who did Trigun?
Gainax isn't Funimation. Gainax is a Japanese company.
I'm talking the North American.
Geneon? There's no North American dub company called Gainax.
You got it right, Geneon.
Okay.
Who was basically absorbed by Funimation.
No, we still see those Geneon logos on fucking, that series we gotta get back to. Vampires and the miniskirts. Seraph of the End.
Yes, but they only have Japanese branches now. They don't do dubbing anymore.
Well, that's why they have the Universal Studios logo there. Which still shocks me.
Some of the major studios are actually getting involved in bringing out anime now.
Sure.
Which is a mixed blessing.
It is. Sometimes.
Anyway, this series has been very fun so far.
It's a fun show.
And I hope it doesn't drop off anytime soon.
Let's hope for another bad English session.
Oh, God. Can we not?
Oh no! It's her house! She's gonna be speaking English, Dave!
And can I mention again how weird this house is? It's like something from Halo invaded a regular mansion.
You've been too self-centered. All the research data will only like hours now.
You don't need me anymore, as you're ready to rip off. Such a thorough move.
No more!
This is horrendous.
Ah!
You know what the problem here is? They only shot her once. They should have headshot her and ended it.
And then turned their guns on themselves.
You're not the only one who finds this place such a dirty dog to your scammers. It's just a childish Anderson who hasn't even looked at the depth of black art.
Fail!
Anime, folks.
Holy crap!
Just do it in Japanese, okay? Leave the English for the dubs.
Look, you can have
Or hire English voice actors!
you can have an anime that has, the English speaking people speak proper English. Ghost in the Shell did that in the one episode, but they had actual English Texans speaking the lines.
It can be Texans. I have no issue with it being Texans.
But don't have somebody whose English is like their fifth language speaking the lines for your anime. And I mean that manager who wanted to bring Tsubasa into the international market
Japanese speaker. Full on.
spoke Japanese just fine. You don't need this.
You don't need this. This is an abomination. This is an abomination.
You can't even say, "Oh, we're trying to teach people English," because my God, no.
This isn't. If you're a Japanese person and you've been just studying English as a second language, you would be embarrassed by this. 'Cause
Yes.
you'd have enough knowledge to go, wow, that's horrible.
Grab a high school student and have them do these lines because they will do better. This guy's so broken.
Genjiro is so broke. Someone get that guy an anti-noise shield and put him to work. His talents are being wasted otherwise.
I know. Yeah, how many times have you worked with us now in the last couple episodes? Yeah, no, you're gonna get over this in about maybe half an episode more.
Chris, let me tell you the story about two differently opposed people, different ideologies, but they shared two things: the same birthday and an unyielding desire to protect the world for different reasons. These two people would ally with each other whenever a threat bigger than them came across. These two people would turn on that threat and protect the world together for their ideals. And these two people were Dr. Ivo Robotnik and Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you understand now, Chris? Yeah, you're a fucking idiot!
Okay, you don't need to confirm this for me, but I'm guessing by the end of this the first manga set / this anime, that school's gonna be a smoking crater in the ground.
The only thing I can confirm is that it does not pull a Gravity Falls Mystery Shack and become unto a mecha.
Gotcha. I think we found some competition for Togo.
For which?
For Togo from Yuki Yuna.
Well, that attack was called the Mega Death Quartet. No, we're not at Togo levels yet.
Okay.
Remember, Yuno was punching nuclear-powered punches.
I guess.
We're not yet at go up to orbit and blow up the Death Star by yourself and not by attacking its weak point yet.
Don't think even Yuna was there yet. She was getting close.
So Genjuro knew that Ryoko was a traitor, and to counter her plans, he allowed her to enact her plans.
That was a boneheaded move. It's not so much a scheme as it is stupid.
This is a pathetic display from Ryoko. A pathetic display.
And
You're in super-powered, supernatural plot armor, and this dude's beating the shit out of you.
That was a Digimon TK versus Digimon Emperor moment, the whole grabbing bull.
Except The Digimon Emperor wasn't a superhuman
True.
thing.
True. She's talking about the Tower of Babel, isn't she?
She wants to reach God. Over the course of history, many foolish civilizations have done terrible things in the name of God. The Cylons, the Covenant, and now this dumb hoe.
Okay, I definitely wouldn't have seen this coming. Or with your vast intellect, you could have created a automatic translation device which immediately eliminates the fact of blowing up the moon and having a universal language.
So let's measure the pros and cons of Symphogear right now. Pros, awesome animation, generally decent music, good character development on the heroes. Cons, dumbest villain in the universe, wants to destroy the moon so that people can speak all languages again. Oh my god, if she destroys the moon, will her English improve?
Pro, it might. Con, she'd still be around. Really? Dumb villain.
Yep.
I mean, you've been around since ancient times in one form or another, and your whole thing is to destroy the moon.
This is as far as I read into the manga when Chris does this.
Okay.
Because at the time there was no more translated and I haven't actually sought it out.
So you don't know how this ends.
Correct.
Okay. So, can they breathe in space? Because she went pretty far frickin' up.
Let's just assume yeah.
Why not?
Now, we've seen Chris in promotional materials for future seasons. Then again, we've also seen Kanade.
Well, she didn't turn to dust.
No.
It seems like everybody since Kanade, their swan songs don't actually kill them.
So the Swan
what?
Song sucks, as we've established.
So what? Can I just not want to live enough? Like,
She just didn't want it bad enough.
exactly.
Or, what I suspect, she's still alive.
As I told you.
And the real final villain, way forward in Season 5, whenever it comes out.
Would have to be, because so far, I can confirm she's not back.
Oh, you can confirm, can you?
Yes.
Interesting. Fascinating.
I had that little plot point.
And you're sure you can trust it?
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Okay.
Hey, they could change it in Season 4.
Or 2. So that was episode 10 and 11 of,
Symphogear. It doesn't have to...
Extreme Digital Monster Symphogear. In it, we learned that the Swan Song blows, because Chris is probably still fine. That Fine is even dumber than we thought she was.
I mean, the Tower of Babel, come on!
And Miku's friends realize that Hibiki is a superhero. And we learned that the moon is what makes us have separate languages. Yep. Folks, thank you so much for watching us blow up the moon. Now, we've seen little glimpses of Hibiki going all silhouette face, red eyes, fangs.
Yeah.
But it never really lasts for too long. I kind of hope that Fine's just gonna get a serious beatdown right now with Hibiki in total kill mode.
Yeah, the last time we saw it was when she grabbed the, Durandal.
Yeah.
Note to self, on next reincarnation, make multiple towers. Check.
Perhaps work with people instead of in secret and being a total asshole to them so that they hate you and destroy your plans. Explain plans, make better plan.
Okay,
Dipshit! Super Saiyan mode.
So that was episode 12, where, yeah, they got their Super Saiyan mode, new outfits, and can now fly.
That episode kind of sucked, actually. It was just a whole bunch of fucking expositing about how hopeless it is, and then, of course, the very expected Super Saiyan power-up.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a lot better if instead of singing the school song or during it, Miku actually shouted out something like, hey, we're alright, you can keep going, so that Hibiki knew that. Or if the little girl was like, hey, I'm the little girl you helped, you want to fucking get up now, please? We could use your help again, please.
Yeah, they could have used the time a little bit better.
Well, that's kind of a dick move. If I don't win, nobody wins.
Yeah, should have just taken her out.
Okay, there, Joker. Like, probably should kill. You're regretting not killing Fine now, aren't you, Hibiki?
Yeah.
If she's smart, she'll just chaos control it back into place.
Don't quite think that's how this works.
No, that's how it works. Shut up.
It's okay, Miku. She'll sacrifice herself, take care of the problem. You can find a nice boy later on.
Hang on, I think I feel Fine reviving in me. No, that's just murderous rage to kill you.
In the end, they were just friends.
In the end, I will karate chop you so hard that your body won't even split from the force of my chop. Your cells will realize how wrong you are and just split you on their own. Okay, we're getting into some Ryuko scissor blade levels now.
I'm thinking Riko's was still larger.
Yeah, but still.
Her shoulder pads have just become...
Good news, you've destroyed the fragment of the moon. Bad news, also Jupiter. Also Jupiter.
Holy shit!
I'm glad we're seeing this now because I won't have to have my heart wrenched through 4 more seasons of wondering if this scene's gonna happen.
Oh, that would have sucked.
Yep. Yeah, I'm so glad that that funeral scene was resolved in this season so that we're not tethered to it for future ones. Because it would have sucked. First of all, it would have been heart-wrenching. And secondly, it just would have kind of just sucked as a narrative element if we were just building towards that for
hanging
5
over our
seasons.
heads the whole time.
Yeah, no, now with that behind us, we can move on. So, what did you think of, because every season has a different title, so I don't know if we can call this season 1 of Symphogear as much as we can call this the first series of it. Well, whatever. What did you think of Senki Zesshou Symphogear Tengen Toppa Season 1 Digital Monster?
Even its worst episode, episode 12, was not. It wasn't as great as the rest of them, but it still wasn't bad. It just didn't do as much as the other episodes. I do feel that this last 3 minutes was rushed. The fact that it went from being she's under attack, boom, and then excuse, haha, move on.
Yeah, they probably could have taken a few of the unnecessary minutes out of 12 and put it on the end of 13.
You know what ultimately that kind of jarring jump feels like? The end of Superman. He breaks the guy's neck, he's screaming, and then all of a sudden, satellite, boom, ha, I shot it down because you're following me.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they really needed... They could have even cut out part of the credits and just had it going through there.
For sure,
It just... I mean, it's totally like her to say, sorry, it was classified, everything else. On the other hand, Miku really should have slapped her.
Yeah, I was kind of...
She left her dead, thinking that she was dead for 3 weeks. Classified or not. The fuck?
Yeah, in the manga, the graveyard scene wasn't even there, and honestly, I almost think that you should have taken that out from the beginning and not even had that at the end, and that probably would have been better overall. You would have had more time to build on other important things like a proper transition to the end and a vision of the future.
I mean, Genjuro actually lied to her that she was dead.
Genjuro?
Yeah. Like she said, they built her a grave and everything else there. He couldn't tell her that she was alive?
Yeah, it's a big plot hole. Miku was in on everything
Yeah.
to the point that they trust her with classified information, but they couldn't trust her with that. Unless there's something really meta here where it's Miku's grief that brought them back, but then now we're getting into really shitty storytelling territory.
Let's not go there. They just survived, and I mean they had that little thing when she was in the bus about international stuff and everything else that was going on.
Maybe that's why they didn't want people. They want as few people as possible to know that they were still operating in secret. But I mean, the fact of the matter is,
it could have been handled better.
It could have been handled better, and that's kind of the. Here's the thing about Symphogear: it's really not that deep we're really not looking at super metaphysical future Miku created the noise out of grief from Hibiki's death content or anything like that. No, we're really looking at a kind of a simple action show with a stupid premise and great characterization. This is what Symphogear feels like to me. I see it compared a lot to Madoka and to Yuki Yuna, but much like how the comparison between Yuki Yuna and Madoka is stupid because they're not alike, and Madoka sucks, the comparison of Symphogear to either of those shows is stupid because it's not like Yuki Yuna, and it's not
definitely not like Madoka.
And it's definitely not like Madoka, which, as we've already established, sucks.
And I can see how Madoka fans, and remember, I don't think Madoka was anywhere near as bad as you do.
I know.
But they saw when Chris and Tsubasa were fighting, they're like, this is totally like Madoka.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Or when Togo's crying over Yuna, this is totally like Madoka. Like, I mean, oh, look, girls and grief, oh, Madoka.
Yeah.
So, I guess in Age of Ultron, because Black Widow suffered grief, that's totally like Madoka. So, yeah, that's Symphogear to me. Symphogear to me is, if Madoka's kind of, barring what I personally feel about it and what you personally feel about it and what anybody personally feels about it, if Madoka's kind of, about the inevitability of existence ultimately creating a painful situation you can't escape, and Yuki Yuna is about faith being rewarded because faith ultimately won out and all was forgiven even amongst those who doubted. Symphogear is about putting people into giant machines, into weird superhero transformation machine things called Symphogears and having them blow shit up. This is definitely the most escapist of those three series. The most fan servicey to its detriment. And the most pure action of the three. What this show isn't like a bad version of the other two. It's more that Symphogear's an action show that occasionally aspires and to be something a little more ambitious and only sometimes succeeds, I think.
Well, you and I can both agree that the villain was the worst part of this.
For sure. Fine and the general plot is stupid as shit. Where the strength comes in the fact that Hibiki and Miku and Tsubasa and Chris and Kanade and Genjuro and all of them are just so well-developed characters. They're deep, they have multiple layers, they have quirks, believable quirks, they have dynamic relationships with each other, they have different viewpoints on the situations they're in. They act kind of in a reasonable way. They all have arcs that I totally believe. Fine is the stupidest villain, and the general plot is dumb. And I'm hoping for improvement there in the second season. But ultimately, even if it's more good characterization, terrible villain, great fight scenes, I'm okay with that.
Still gonna enjoy it.
I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm only gonna enjoy it at this base level. I want more out of this.
Well, and what I'm afraid of is because they have now that they've given us Fine, whole Babylon thing, reborn whenever the effects of their powers are used, etc. I think she's probably going to pop up in every freaking season.
I sure hope not. I was kind of hoping she was going to be perma-killed, but...
I mean, granted, if I was one of the government and I found out about this and it turned out that it was anybody who had her genetics, I'd probably be going on a genetic headhunt.
Oh yeah, that's the right solution. Genocide.
Yeah. Hey, it's very Babylonian.
I suppose so.
That was. I can't believe they were going the whole Tower of Babel thing.
I can, because the plot's stupid. Like the whole plot is dumb. The story of this is dumb. That it still succeeds is a testament to how great the characters are.
I don't think it's dumb. I really don't. Because the idea of having, the girl's a little bit of in conflict, having a, the noise being the powering up bad guy and everything else, I was okay with all of that. It's when Ryoko / Fine started being the brains behind everything, that's when things, to me at least, started to drop. Because I'm okay with there being this random enemy who pops up that you have to defeat, and it's like a constant threat. That's okay. Having a human / malevolent entity behind it is also okay, as long as that malevolent entity doesn't make Queen Beryl look like a genius, which Fine kind of does.
Yeah, I'm okay with there being a villain. Like, if there's another Yuki Yuna season, I don't want it to be just mindless Vertex again. But I sure as hell don't want a Fine-level villain. And having seen enough of a Kamega kill, I don't know if Takahiro should really be writing a villain. And then Madoka, fucking QB should have been the villain, but unfortunately that show is so terrible that they reduced him to some kind of neutral party inevitability.
Yeah, neutral my ass.
So, I mean, like that this show tried to have a villain is, I guess, admirable. But, I mean, now that we've had our supernatural villain, the next villain I want to see is someone more, like, from a government or the government. Like, sort of like Cadmus, but obviously much more tailored to this world. And if they're speaking English, for the love of Christ. Oh, for the love of Christ, get English voice actors.
I pointed out early in the show when Chris popped up and had her Symphogear, that the way I see this going is we're going to start having actually Symphogear users against each other.
Sure.
I figure the noise will always be a presence, but I figure the next enemy will be either one or multiple Symphogear users from maybe a different country as part of their opposition.
Damn you, Zimbabwe!
That would be... Oh, you know who it's going to be, though.
The Portuguese. The traditional enemy of Rurouni Kenshin.
Please. Never, ever mention that piece of shit again.
Oh, God. Secondhand Portuguese from Japanese speakers. Oh, what would that sound like?
No.
See, you wouldn't even know how bad it would be. Yeah. I would, though.
No, I figure we've only had 2 countries mentioned so far.
Japan
and the US.
Zimbabwe.
In the U.S.
I don't trust that Zimbabwe.
So I figure the U.S. is the next villain.
I kind of hope it's the Ottoman Empire.
You want to start pulling out all kinds of stuff out of the past? Final thoughts?
My final thoughts are that in Xenogears, there was an entity called Miang that was in the genetic makeup of every woman on that planet. Oh, and there always needed to be a Miang. So when you killed Miang, she randomly popped up inside Ellie, one of your party members, and that's what set up the final dungeon of that game.
Okay.
Xenogears fucking blows. Those are my final thoughts.
Okay. I don't know how to top that.
Don't feel like you have to top anything. Just speak from your heart.
Xenoblade doesn't do that. The end.
Sweet. Folks, if you wish to destroy the moon and thus bring a common tongue back to the world so that you can tell God how much you love his dick, go to carlosanddaveanimerave.com.